Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back. So, I just got another shipment in, and it is so freaking good. Let's dive in. So, let me get this one out of the way. Not that this one's bad, it's just a challenging profile, but I think it's actually very well done. So, this is the only one that I'm like, probably wouldn't recommend this for most people. But I just wanted to get the experience of what Amwaj's Outlands is doing. So this is Terra doing its interpretation on Amwaj Outlands. And basically what you get is a super oriental experience that develops like crazy for the first hour. So yeah, when I sprayed this on, from the moment I sprayed it on until it hit the hour mark, this literally changed on my skin like 7 times. Like I was going in like every 5 or 10 minutes and I kept getting something different. I don't think you'll ever get a fragrance this complex that evolutionizes that much for 20 bucks ever again. I paid $20 for this. So even though it's not a very wearable profile, I think it was worth the experience because it was so cheap. But yeah, basically just think very resinous, spicy, incensey, oriental experience. But all in all, I'm not mad. I knew this was a challenging profile. I knew what I was getting myself into. So I think for 20 bucks, good value, honestly. Not mad at it at all. Would I recommend it? No. Most people are not going to want to smell like that. These other 3, though, dude, so freaking good. So let's start with Legacy by Go Forked. This is doing its interpretation on Blue Talisman. I'm late to that profile. As you guys know, I like to wait for the hype to die down. I'm late though. I wish I would have gotten to this a little bit sooner. So I don't know if this is necessarily the best clone, but this smells very well blended and very refined. The only thing is the performance is lacking. So I just got these in yesterday, but I wore this for a little while last night, and then I threw this on this morning when I got out of the shower. So I kind of got a full experience of wearing this once. And I kind of have a good idea of what it's doing already. I love it. I think the DNA is gorgeous, but it wears very similar to Dolce & Gabbana, the one, EDP, the original, not the reformulated new one that dropped last year, the OG. And that's unfortunate, because that one's infamous for having terrible performance. So yeah, when you spray this on, the first hour, solid. I really like that it's got a nice fruity accord, but it's not overly sweet. It's grounded by those woods, and it's a fresh, fruity, woody fragrance. Super, super easy to like. But the first 2 hours, you'll get decent performance, nothing crazy. From the second hour to the 4th hour, it almost wears like a skin scent. So like I said, it's gonna remind you a lot of Dolce & Gabbana, the one EDP, not in the scent DNA, but in the way that it wears. So that's unfortunate. The performance just isn't really here, but we'll see how it macerates. But basically what you're gonna get here, guys, it's a pear. It's a fruity fragrance. It's a fresh fruity fragrance that uses the note of pear. And then it dries down into a ambery, woody fragrance. Absolutely love this. What this is going to remind you of, so obviously that's doing its interpretation on Blue Talisman. If you've never smelled Blue Talisman, it's gonna remind you of 1 Million Lucky, which is my favorite designer of all time. This is only one of 2 fragrances that I've ever given a 10 out of 10 to. I think this is just such a gorgeous fragrance. But they do something very similar. 1 Million Lucky, it's a fruity, fresh fragrance that dries down into a ambery, woody, nutty dry down. This is a fruity fragrance that's fresh that dries down into an ambery, woody dry down. So really similar. The only difference is this is using pear, this is using plum. So they don't smell similar necessarily, but they do really similar things. where, like I said, they're fruity fragrances that are fresh and dry down, ambery, and woody. So off rip, when I smelled this, it instantly made me think of that. Not because it smells similar, but because they do really similar things. And I love that fragrance. So obviously, I instantly loved this fragrance. But like I said, even just after playing around with it for the last 24 hours, I can tell the performance isn't there. So we'll see how it macerates, but I'm probably going to have to go ahead and pull the trigger on another Blue Talisman clone because this DNA is gorgeous. So yeah, we'll see. Stay tuned. I'll definitely do a full review on this once it gets some time to sit, but I'll probably end up picking up another clone because I love this profile. Fire. Absolutely fire. I just wish the performance was better. Like I said, it performs like Dolce & Gabbana, the 180p, which is really unfortunate. The next one, so Rayhan's Aquatica. This is doing its interpretation on Virgin Island water by Creed. It wears heavier, but I don't think it's a bad thing. The main thing I'll say is this really has a prominent coconut accord. So what you're getting is a mojito vibe, but instead of just using gas water, you know, bubble water, what is that called? Soda water? Gas water, bubble water. Instead of using just soda water, think coconut water. And it's very prominent. So I would say it's not the main leading note. It's almost like running buddies with the lime. So the main things I get here is coconut and lime in a very fresh, aquatic type of style fragrance. Really good. I haven't gotten a full day's wear yet. I still got to play around with this. This is really just a first impression on all these fragrances. But I really like the DNA, and I can tell it's going to perform really well. Just from wearing it 3 or 4 hours last night, I was like, oh yeah, this is probably like a 10-hour fragrance, but we'll see. Stay tuned. Once again, this is Rayhan's Aquatica, and I'll definitely do a full review on that. But I really, really liked it, just from the short time that I've spent with it. The next one is, this is Rayhan's Obsidian. I didn't actually mean to pick up a bunch of Rayhans. Like, that was not even my intention here. I was just looking for certain DNAs, and Rayhan just so happened to be kind of the better clones from what everybody was saying, from a lot of people reviewing them. There were certain DNAs I was looking for, and Rayhan happened to be the one that came out on top for most people. So I ended up with 3 Rayhans this haul. So go Rayhan. You guys are really doing your thing. So this is Rayhan's Obsidian. This is doing its interpretation on Dior Homme Parfum. Really, really good, dude. Really, really good. I'm not in love with that profile. I think it smells really good. It's a very elegant kind of date night fragrance, but it's not one that I'm running out to get, you know. A lot of times I try to go for clones unless I just absolutely love the OGs. Like, there's certain ones that I'm just like, nah, I gotta have the OG. This is one of those that I like the profile, but I don't feel like I need the OG. And this really scratches the itch. I think after getting this, you know, this will probably hold me off for a while. I don't think I'll be getting the OG anytime soon. When it opens up, though, I will say, I wish the iris was a little bit toned down. The first like 15 to 30 minutes, the iris is really leading the way, but it smells good. Once you get an hour into the fragrance and you really start getting into the whole dry down, gorgeous. It's just a really nice irisy, powdery, woody fragrance that wears really nice. It's not screaming, but it's also not a skin scent at all. I think it's right in the middle, and it's kind of exactly what you want for a date night fragrance. It's not screaming, but it's also not so close and intimate that they're not gonna smell you. So, $20. 20 freaking bucks. I am not mad at this at all. So all in all, these 3 bangers. This one, I think, is actually really well done. I'm just not personally a huge fan of the DNA. But this one's actually kind of a banger. This was also 20 bucks, and I think it's very well done. It evolutionizes like crazy. Like, it does so many different things all at once, and then it changes, boom, boom, boom. Like, this is just an experience that for 20 bucks, not bad. I just don't think I'll be wearing this much. But yeah, these 3, I can recommend these 3. The only one that If you're one of those people that like your biggest thing is performance, then probably wouldn't recommend this one. These two definitely I can tell have good performance. This one I wore last night and I probably got a good 4 or 5 hours of solid projection here. Same thing here. These both have really good projection and I can tell the longevity is probably really good. I just haven't gotten like a full day's wear out of this. This one I threw on this morning, fresh out the shower, so I already kind of have an idea. And like I said, this is like a 2-hour fragrance. At the second hour, it kind of turns into a skin scent until about the 4-hour mark. Once you get to the 4-hour mark, it's pretty much gone. I threw this on at like 7 in the morning, so it's been about 5 hours. I'm not really getting much here, and that's unfortunate. So that's it for this one, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed. Catch y'all in the next one. Stay tuned, and I'll be doing full reviews. Peace.